Hello everyone, Cloak here, and today I want to talk to you all about the Knight Rogue, aka the Evasive Tank. A long time ago I ran into a Knight Rogue in Siege back when the level cap was 55 and he was owning our entire guild. I've never seen one and I've wondered why. After doing some digging, I found that Knight Rogue focuses on dual wielding for some of his elites, which takes away his ability to use both his shield as well as his shield abilities. And seeing as Knight Rogue only has 3 aggro increasing skills, which are Threaten, Holy Power Explosion, and Whirlwind Shield, the inability to use his shield kills the class. So Knight Rogues are forced to either give up aggro building skills brought about by using a shield, or they have to sacrifice dual wielding. However, I thought of a way to solve this problem by asking Psych from the forums to develop a macro for me. This macro will swap your offhand for your shield, pop your shield skill, and then put your offhand back on. This allows you to use all of your shield skills while being able to duel one-handed swords with a hatred in each one, which helps maintain more aggro. Plus, your dual wielding skills can be used as well. This means no skills or options are lost to you thanks to this macro. So now with that problem out of the way, I began developing a rotation. Now I want to put a disclaimer out there that I have zero tanking experience, nor do I have any experience on how to maintain aggro in a party, so this is pretty much all theory to me. The only experience I have is playing a Knight Rogue up to level 64 and soloing DoD first boss with him. Now back to the rotation. It's a rotation I came up with that seems to work while being able to maintain a series of alternating buffs that will allow you to stay alive. This rotation will be referred to as standard rotation. It takes 10 seconds to perform and can be repeated infinitely with everything coming off of cooldown just in time for it to be used again, and this is the rotation that I spam. But before I elaborate on its workings, I must first talk about the small opening combo first. The combo starts with Charge, Holy Seal, Whirlwind Shield, Blind Stab, and then Truth Shield Bash. Charge gets you into the fight and stacks 2 Holy Seals on the target. Holy Seal brings that stack up to the max 4, Whirlwind Shield builds your initial aggro, and Blind Stab to reduce the target's accuracy. And then finally, Truth Shield Bash, which will convert the 4 Holy Seal stacks on your target into a self-shield that absorbs 20% of your max HP for 10 seconds. This 10-second shield allows you enough time to pull off a standard rotation. The rotation is as follows: Threaten, Holy Strike times 4, Punishment, Holy Seal, Whirlwind Shield, and finally Blind Stab. Threaten for building aggro, 4 Holy Strikes for DPS and building Holy Seal stacks, Punishment to cash in on the seal stacks for additional damage, the Holy Seal skill to refresh the 4 stacks in order to gain the additional damage and effect of Threaten when this rotation is repeated, Whirlwind Shield to build more aggro, and finally, using Blind Stab to refresh the target's loss of accuracy. Now before I explain what I believe to be proper rotation, here are some things to note about Knight Rogue's skills. Holy Strike should do decent damage from my understanding due to the elite skill, which increases its critical hit rate by 40%. The elite skill, God's Vengeance, is not accurate on the wiki, and instead makes it so that every time you use punishment, there is a 50% chance that the Holy Seal stacks on the target won't be consumed. However, use of Holy Seal after punishment is still recommended in the standard rotation, as it makes it so you don't have to see if the stacks were consumed or not. Blind Stab lasts for 20 seconds against mobs thanks to an elite skill, so reduced accuracy on your target can be constantly maintained. The elite skill Leopard's Instinct is nothing short of awesome. This skill buffs your dodge by 50% for 10 seconds, as well as protects you from 3 hits if you are hit while the buff is active. So basically, it's a free shield a free 3-hit shield that also increases your dodge rate by an insane amount. If you are attacked while Shield of Discipline and or Shield of Valor is in effect, your dodge rate increases. And lastly, even though you are dual-wielding swords, attacks can still be parried, which still means leveling your parry skill as well as use of Shield of Valor is important. And I know I said lastly, but one more thing to note, dual-wielding swords, again, allows for the use of 2 hatreds, meaning that you'll be able to generate quite a bit of aggro and easily maintain it. And now that all of these concepts and points have been made about Knight Rogue, I will now give a live demonstration on how these rotations should be used, as well as what skills should be used in between standard rotations. I am dual boxing Cloak and have him set to use group heal every 10 seconds so that he will stay alive while my Knight Rogue freely beats him in order to provide example on how these rotations work. Firstly, the opening rotation is used to stack the Holy Seals and obtain the Truth Shield buff. Now the standard rotation can be used one time while protected by Truth Shield Bash. Once it expires, Leopard's Instinct is then used to protect the use of another standard rotation. When Leopard's Instinct runs out, Shield of Discipline is used, which will allow me to use 3 standard rotations in a row. Now that Shield of Discipline is about to run out, Shield of Valor will then be used, and a standard rotation will be performed once more. And by this time, Truth Shield Bash is coming off of cooldown, so once the standard rotation completes, Truth Shield Bash is then used in order to buff myself to use another standard rotation while being protected. When this finishes, Shield of Discipline is coming off of cooldown, allowing me to protect myself for another 3 standard rotations. As you can see, Leopard's Instinct and Shield of Valor is still on cooldown, but they are getting close to coming back. And with Shield of Discipline ticking down, Shield of Valor is coming off of cooldown and is being used in between rotations. And Shield of Valor lasts 10 more seconds, and Leopard's Instinct will be coming back online. As is Truth Shield Bash, which I have just used. And once you make it to this specific Truth Shield Bash, the entire rotation can be performed all over again from the very beginning.